Welcome to the Heavy Spoilers Show. I'm your host Definition, and it looks like June sure is the month for sentient toys, with Toy Story, Chucky and Annabelle all coming home. With the former two out for worldwide release, it's time to dive into the Conjuring Universe once more to see if there's anything behind this movie other than smoke and mirrors. Throughout this video I'll be breaking down everything that you need to know about the new horror movie and how I think it sets up The Conjuring 3. This is full spoilers ahead, so if you don't want to know anything about the film, then I highly recommend that you turn off now. With that out the way, I just want to give a huge thank you for clicking this video. I hope you enjoy it. Now sit back, relax, and let's get into my breakdown of Annabelle Comes Home. Annabelle Comes Home is the 7th entry in the Conjuring universe, and it stands as a kind of greatest hits of the story so far. However, rather than featuring the Warrens as the main characters, the story instead centres around their daughter Judy, who finds herself in the middle of a demon home invasion. Judy is slowly developing her sixth sense and is bullied because of her parents' obsession with the occult. Juxtaposing this, the majority of the town in which they live have a fixation with the Warrens, and this aesthetic slowly teases why the events in the film happen. After her parents leave town for the night, Judy is left with a babysitter named Mary Ellen and a friend Daniela, who due to her curiosity decides to touch everything in the house that pretty much has a do not touch sign on it. Worst babysitter ever! It's revealed later in the film that this is because Daniela's father recently died and she blames herself for the accident and she just wants some closure. So yeah, best thing for that is to unleash the most evil demon on the planet. Well done. Anyway, we discover in the film that Annabelle is not just a conduit, but rather a beacon for spirits, and through opening her case, the house is in for a whole host of new visitors, and there's one that I think will return, which I'll get into later. Annabelle wants to take over Judy, and with her developing psychic abilities, this will give her a lot more power. There is an ending that I had in my head that they didn't do that I think probably would have been better, but due to continuity and stuff, they couldn't really travel down that route. Anyway, the girls quickly realise that the only way to stop Annabelle, the only way to contain evil, the only thing that can stop the rise of hell is to put Annabelle back in the glass case again. It is a bit anticlimactic, but this film has to reset everything to the status quo, and yeah, I can understand why they were forced into this plot route. Eventually they managed to get Annabelle back in the case after several demons, including a badass samurai, run amok in the house and scare the crap out of everyone, and the movie ends with the Warrens returning and throwing a party for Judy, who doesn't think that anyone will come due to how unpopular she is. Now, I really wish that the ending had have been that she had actually been possessed by Annabelle and we just didn't know it, and when the kids show up she just kind of murders them all for bullying her, but no, we actually get a pretty happy ending because Mary Ellen and Daniela basically got their friends together to make sure that it's better than My Super Sweet 16. There's no post-credits scene, and yeah, the movie doesn't really definitively set up anything down the line. However, going forward, there is a character introduced in this film that was originally confirmed as the villain for The Conjuring 3 back in 2017. That is the Hellhound. Whilst it might seem a bit strange to have a werewolf as the main villain in a film like this, it actually pulls from a real life case that the Warrens investigated. Gary Doberman, who directed the film, stated that the Warrens actually investigated a man that was seemingly possessed by the spirit of a werewolf, and at some points he was taken over by the man form, and at others he was taken control of by the wolf. This apparently happened in Essex, and Doberman said that during his research he had found that along the coast of the city, a bed of fog and mist circulated, which would make the perfect creepy story element. Me though, I kinda just hope it's The Only Way is Essex with a really hairy guy in it, but I know that'll happen, so 0% on Rotten Tomatoes for that movie. Anyway, Doberman said that the Hellhound is in the artifact room for a reason, and to me this definitely cements that the creature will be returning for the third film in the franchise, which hopefully will receive its trailer soon. So what did I think about the movie? Well, since the announcement of several films in the Conjuring universe, I've always wanted this to be the MCU for horror fans. Something that builds and builds towards a huge climax that takes several elements of horror and pulls them together in a cohesive narrative. However, in reality, the Conjuring universe is really middling, and Annabelle Comes Home feels like another unneeded entry that's not really developing the plot beyond what we've already seen and know about. This feels like it's been purely put in place to set up sequels and spin-offs with new characters, and yeah, depending on how excited you are, that'll either leave you pumped or rolling your eyes. But all that aside, if you're a fan of the films, you'll either really love this or find it really tiring. It's nothing we haven't seen before, and your tolerance for this will depend purely on how much you care about jump scares. Overall, it's a fine movie, and I can definitely see myself going back to this when I've got a quiet night in and I just want something to watch that I can chill out to and have a takeaway with. So yeah, it's not going to revolutionise the horror genre, it doesn't really feel like anything special, it's fine but it's mindless fun, and for that it gets a 6.5 out of 10. On the other hand, if you're a 13-year-old girl, this will probably be the scariest movie that you've ever seen. So yeah, for 13-year-old girls, 10 out of 10, Best Picture winner at the Academy Awards. Obviously, I'd love to hear your thoughts on the film and if there's anything else that you took from the ending. Comment below and let me know, and if you enjoyed this video then please give it a thumbs up and make sure you check out my breakdown of Child's Play, which will be linked at the end. It covers all of the ins and outs of the new remake and it's definitely worth checking out if you want to know more, so I'll leave that linked after this. This is a channel for people who are mad into movies, so if that's the kind of thing you like, hit subscribe. Thanks again for taking the time to watch this. I've been Definition, you've been the best, and I'll see you next time. Take care, peace.
It's coming home, it's coming home, it's coming, Annabelle's coming home.